Hi Capricorn, welcome to your a special reading, I should say. Manifestation reading for October through the end of December 2022. So in other words, the rest of this year, the last quarter. It was just something I thought to do to be a little bit different because I just tend to do more readings that are just for the middle of the month, the end of the month. And this is a special type of reading. But manifestation, I was going to do something, I forgot the other name I was going to call it, but it was not manifestation. And I decided that that would be a good name because you can manifest a relationship. You can manifest anything. It doesn't have to be just money or career. So whatever it is that you've been wanting, let's see the energy around this thing. And I will, didn't I say a relationship? I will tell you what each position means so that you understand where I'm coming from. Well, I think when I picked it, I think it was reversed, so I'm going to leave it that way. Very interesting. Okay. So what is it that you are looking to manifest? And this can be like, it doesn't have to be the literal thing. Like I was joking about the lovers and I said, I was talking about relationships, but it can be something that is connected to what this card represents. And this card has more than one meaning. The Lover's card is a card that is connected to the sign of Gemini. And it's obviously very possible that this is about relationship. Not just kind of like, what's that term that means when you're become physically intimate? I can't think of the proper word. But it's not, it could be something like that. But I like to look at the bigger picture. Wanting, like let's say you've had relationships, but you've never gotten very, very close to somebody. Intimacy on the physical level, hence the nudity, is really symbolic for emotional intimacy. The term I was looking for was consummate the relationship. So you're, making it. That's obviously one possibility, but it's more than that. It's about wanting a relationship that is very deep. And sometimes if a person, you had a full moon, I thought it was quite a doozy in your sign in July. And that may have been some major ending of your life. Because I like in a chapter in your life, because Pluto, I think was in conjunction with that. I can't remember, the transing Pluto. So that would have, really added to the desire to go dig deep into your psyche to really let go of something. So maybe you're ready for a deep relationship. But this is also a card of choice. So you may be at a crossroads in your life. And this could, and actually, this is great because I have a card here for the position of, explaining why you want this. And I got the Two of Wands, and this is a card of that. It could be a card of that you want to choose a new career. Wands can relate to career matters. And you see the person is holding that world in their hand, a globe or whatever. So this could even be about relocation. And so you realize that you have this big choice that you have to make in your life. And it might involve a relationship, though, too. I mean, it might be all combined. But the point is that even though you may be like on the horns of a decision, you still don't know if it's the right thing for you. Perhaps there are other complications at the same time, as there often are. I mean, how many times, unless you're just really young and you don't really have any obligations, but if you're somebody who is trying to start a new chapter of your life, but you have a house and you're trying to sell it, there's so many possibilities, so many variables that could be complicating things. So, anyway, there are two cards that indicate like things to consider as you make maybe this decision. I'm going to just hold it upright, but I picked it reversed. One is the High Priestess, and I picked it in the reverse position. In the upright position, this is a card of, connecting with your higher self. So when it's in the reverse position, perhaps you just are completely haywire when it comes to your spiritual life. Maybe it's a non-existent thing, although if you're watching a tarot reading, I would consider that as delving into the spiritual, even if people are using it to find out about material matters or something, I still think that there is that acknowledgement of something beyond the physical, the metaphysical. But we also have the Seven of Cups, and this can be a card of a lot of distorted thinking, or you could call it wishful thinking. This is a card of addiction. So sometimes if a person has a substance abuse problem, they have clouded thinking, and it makes their decision making very tricky or perilous, downright perilous. Or somebody around you has an addiction, and this is part of the reason why you can't make a clear-cut decision about something. Let's say you want to leave your marriage, but your partner has an addiction. You may feel responsible for your partner's well-being. You may be kind of a caretaker for your partner, an enabler. Well, I don't want to be accusatory, but a codependent, where you feel like their problems are your problems. And yet, if there is a yearning, as the Two of Wands suggests, for expansion in your life, you may know that this other person is holding you back. So it's kind of like a very difficult decision about whether or not to keep this partnership going. That's what the Lover's card is too. It's a partnership. And another possibility is that if you're kind of disconnected from spiritual matters, it may impede your ability to look at a decision that you have to make in a realistic way, because you may be just like living on the surface of life and not seeing that there are a lot of serious things to consider that have spiritual overtones to them. What's coming in is the Five of Wands. This is a card of a battle. Now, there are other people in this battle, as you can see. And this is a card of competition. Sometimes I always read this card kind of in a rather negative light, because I personally don't like competition, but I think that overall I'm a pretty unbiased reader. It's just that I know when I see that Five of Wands, I tend to think of something that's like a conflict. And so I just want to make it known that this card can be like, for instance, let's say you may decide to go for that new career choice, and you may be jumping into the fray of something and really testing yourself. I've read interviews of people who are successful in the material sense, and it seems like the self-actualized people, a lot of them don't shy away from challenges. And that's kind of what the Five of Wands is about. So they go for those things that test their grit. Do I think a Capricorn person personifies this? Yeah, I think to some degree. Even though you're an earth sign and not a fire sign, this is like a fire energy. But I think that you have what it takes to do something like that. And you may be in this kind of a mode, maybe because of that Pluto transit through your sun sign, where you are changed in a way, where you no longer are just trying to be cautious and do what is the proven tactic to get where you want, but you're like, hey, bring it on, kind of thing. But if I also look at it a different way, you may upset the apple cart if this is a relationship that you have to leave for some reason. One thing I didn't mention, but it could be, is that you have maybe you are having some kind of a fling or an extramarital type of relationship. I remember once I said, Capricorns are very family oriented, and I don't see them as being the cheating type. And whenever I say, it's just so funny how people, they will, because they had a negative experience with a particular sign, they'll just like start raking them through the coals and saying, oh, Capricorns can be the worst or something. I definitely don't think Capricorns are the worst when it comes to cheating, but anybody can cheat, and sometimes it's due to other factors that they would prefer not to cheat, but they feel like, well, I'm not going to get into it. It's not obviously the ideal thing to do, but it does happen whether we like it or not. So maybe that's what's going on, and you have to just let the chips fall where they may. And they may be falling all over, they may be flying around, everywhere. Because you may find that it's not, the other person doesn't take it very well if you're already coupled and you're going to leave that environment. Or even if you're going to leave your current employer, they may be not very happy. But I almost get the feeling with this outcome card that this may be that you're competing for a position of authority, because the outcome card is one of those authority figures, the Queen of Wands. This is a career woman. This is connected to the sign of Sagittarius, but it's definitely fire energy, and she is a leader, this person. If even for a male to get that card is a good thing, because it's not this, to me, it's like the ultimate leader in a sense, because there is a nurturing component. The queen can be the mother archetype. And, when somebody's in a position of authority and they are nurturing talent, that's, to me, the ultimate when you are looking at people as individuals. That's the feminine quality, to kind of tune into people on an intuitive level and see what they have to offer. And in terms of love, this is the person who, in some cases, you may decide that your career is what is front and center right now, and you don't want to jeopardize it. This card is also a card of having confidence. So with the Lover's card being about a decision. Sometimes there can be indecision, and sometimes indecision comes when a person feels like they are second guessing themselves or whatnot, or they're not sure of what it is that they want and what they don't want. And this is a card of having that confidence to make a decision, coming from the intuitive, which is what the high priestess, that's a feminine energy. That's why it's not the Hierophant. It's the high priestess. And that this is the intuitive, the inner knowing. But perhaps you were looking at things from a skewered perspective, and you're putting things in their proper perspective now. Okay, Capricorn, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, please look at what I have to offer at rainamoonastrology.com. The link is below. Take care. Bye.